Hello and welcome to A-Topical Input, where we talk about all things music, movies, TV, and pop culture, both today and yesteryear. I'm Krista.
I'm Corey. Yesteryear.
I like it.
You're
It's
such a goof.
catchy. Might change every week. I don't know. I'm doing off the top of my
I
head.
like it.
Yeah. So, weekly news rundown. Let's just kick it off with the biggest thing of the week, the Super Bowl.
Okay.
Did you watch it?
No, I didn't watch the game. I only saw clips of the halftime
This is
show.
so Gen Z, and you're not Gen Z at
I
all.
know. I'm great.
It was on. I have a toddler, and it was, right around his bedtime.
Oh, that's true.
And we have not done our best work in life of him going to bed by himself.
Oh, yeah.
Our fault, but you know what? He'll figure it out
3.
eventually.
That
Yeah,
happens.
he'll figure it out
Yeah,
eventually.
that's normal.
And it's actually a lot more work to have him go to bed by himself than to just lay there.
Yeah.
So I let my husband, who is a big Kendrick fan, watch the halftime show, but we were like trading on and off. But I saw clips. I saw everything later. So I feel like I'm okay.
Yeah, same.
So you know nothing about football, neither do I. But man,
I know football. I just am not super up on it like
that
most
Chiefs
people.
game, that was wild. Like that performance. I'm telling you, New Orleans was like, there was like weird vibes. Maybe it was Donald Trump, not to get political.
Maybe
it was Donald Trump. Maybe the spirits of New Orleans didn't like everybody in the room, but it was weird.
Really?
They played awful, like awful.
Well, I knew that.
Yeah, like Mahomes looked like he was like disassociating almost. I mean, for someone who's played in multiple Super Bowls and won 2 before this, it was
odd,
kind of weird.
It seemed like, from what I heard, the Eagles kind of just they just were on fire all night almost.
Oh, yeah.
So it seems like, I feel like that if you've ever done like competitive sports or even like any sort of competition of any kind, really, you can tell if somebody's like vibing and if they're not vibing, and you can kind of either capitalize on it or, there's lots of ways that can really change the whole game. Because I mean, I did bowling in high school, which is going to be really nerdy, but I could tell the people who were actually really good when they were having an off night, and it would actually make me feel like I had a better chance and I would bowl better. It's just how it is.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, as a figure skater, I had my best placement ever because the 2 girls who were so good totally bombed before me.
Nice.
I took advantage of that. I would never beaten them on a good day.
Oh, nice.
I did.
Good for you.
But no, I know what you mean. It was like, I think the blowout was just because it was one of the Eagles' best nights ever, and it was the Chiefs' like worst night ever. And when you combine those two together, you get a blowout.
Okay.
So let's talk about the more interesting stuff, the halftime show.
Sure.
You did see that, right?
I did. Not all of it.
Were you a Kendrick fan?
Not really. Tyler's tried to get me into it. I'm just not big on rap.
Yeah.
Because my ears suck.
Yeah.
I literally cannot make words out. There's something wrong with me.
I have to give the boomers credit. Both my aunt and uncle and my mom and dad did not hate on it. They said we didn't get it.
Yeah.
We didn't really,
it wasn't for them.
Enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm going to go back to what I said last week. It was for nobody except for like a very set group of millennials and a little Gen Z. I'm going to say it.
I think it's just rap people who are just really big rap fans, because the rap fans know Kendrick.
It was like a concert. Eric said it almost felt weird because it was like you go to a concert with a bunch of people you know aren't going to enjoy it. So you kind of don't enjoy it because you know nobody else really gets it.
Right.
And it wasn't even that enjoyable.
I think it was pretty political also.
Yeah.
So he went pretty political with it.
I think that went over like a lot of people's heads.
Many people's heads.
They like
it was very almost online political.
They like the red.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, they like the red, white, and blue.
Yeah.
I enjoyed it. I thought it was great. But again,
it was very fun to see him dunk on Drake, though. It was pretty fun.
That was like, if you understood that, was like on live TV. What?
It was pretty fun.
And I love SZA. I think she's amazing.
Get down. It was pretty fun to see Serena Williams also.
Yes. And people didn't even realize that was her.
Oh, because they didn't stay on her very long.
What was I going to say? Oh, I think for the next halftime show, they need... Like, I even warned my parents before. I was like, I don't want to see any Kendrick hate because he's like one of the very best in the game. Like, I almost don't want him to perform because I know people are going to hate on him, and he's like one of the best in the game, and they just don't get it. I think they need someone who has a poppy show, like, that they can enjoy and understand, that maybe has cross-cultural. Like, I was thinking, like, Harry Styles has a lot of 70s-ish, like, vibes to his music. Yeah. Chappell Roan, I know she's new. But she
she
has
could not handle that right now. She would have to be on the scene a little longer.
Yeah. But like 80s vibe, like kind
I
of
don't know if
think
Harry Styles can perform like that.
that is true.
I
He's
don't think
almost
he's
like
a great singer. He's just a really good performer
concert.
almost.
I don't know. He's been on like literally was on tour for 3 years straight and like sold out everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
good for him.
I don't know who else. Taylor's never gonna do. I think it's gonna be a long time before she does it,
I wouldn't.
if ever.
Why would she do it? She's already successful out the wazoo.
That's what
She's
I
got
feel
nothing to
like.
elevate. She's more successful than anybody else. Why would you do it?
Why would you do it for
career?
free and all that? So who would you have if you're NFL? Who you picking? That would kind of, it doesn't have to appeal to absolutely everyone, but it needs to like somewhat not alienate younger or older fully.
I would really take a hard look at who's performing well live, because that I think is a really get down. You're being mean. That is, I think, what really is going to tell us whether they do well or not. You got to think like Lady Gaga when she did it, stellar, because she performs. She's a performer. I don't know. Did Pink ever do it? Do you know?
I don't know.
I think Pink is quite the acrobatic performer, and she's really good.
Yeah.
So like, I know that like Sabrina Carpenter does a really good performance.
Yeah.
I feel like she would kill it.
She would. I think give her a couple more years to continue
agree.
down her trajectory, because you
Yes.
don't want someone who's too fresh. Like I think you want a little name recognition.
Yeah, to be nominated Best New Artist, and then
but yes, I agree.
That would be a lot.
I thought about Sabrina Carpenter.
But so is Chaperone. They're both great. They're both great performers. So they both would be good choices. Doechii might be a good one as she starts to elevate. Also, she goes the same trajectory.
The thing with Sabrina versus like Chapel is that I feel like Sabrina could handle that kind of pressure right now, just because she's so trained.
She's been in it longer.
Disney, and
she may have blown up at the same time, but she's been in it longer.
Yeah, and she's already been there, done that. Never forget. You always forget the Olivia Rodrigo thing. She was part of that whole thing.
Ooh, it's a lot of claw. It's a lot of claw. Okay,
because that's a lot of pressure, man.
Yes.
Usher did okay. I enjoyed Usher. He appealed to everybody. The LA rap one was good. Like people got into that because it had Snoop. It had like,
I feel like a medley almost is the better way to go.
You almost need more than one person.
Yes.
Like Kendrick and SZA would have been a phenomenal concert for me, but not for the halftime show.
It's just almost too much to put on a person.
Yeah.
Or a group. You think about like the Black Eyed Peas. Completely sabotaged their career. Killed them.
Yeah.
Maybe if they had been able to, include other groups or something and not have their vocals be so focused that they sound like absolute crap.
Something happened to Fergie's voice over the years, because she used to be able to like really sing.
I know.
And then that just really went downhill.
I almost feel like she tried to get more artistic with her voice, and then it got really bad.
Hi.
Don't scratch.
So you want to talk about the commercials. Now, I missed like most of these, I'll be honest. I saw the NFL commercial with Brad Pitt that went on for 10 years.
I did not see that one.
About America. It was actually very nice.
America.
Actually very nice.
So I saw three of them that were highlighted as like weird. So I clicked and watched them earlier today, and it reminded me so much of the really odd commercials we had in like 2005, where like they were like almost like nightmare fuel if you like really sat there long enough and looked at them.
Give me an example.
So I can't think of the 2005 ones off the top of my head, but the ones that were this time, the first one was from Tubi, craziest thing I've ever seen. And so this kid, his mom is getting an ultrasound, and it's got a hat on, like a hat of some kind. You can see it, and she's like, "Oh, I think he's gonna like country music." And like they come out, and this kid is literally, his head is shaped, so it's a skin hat. And all the people around him are like, "Oh, country's never gonna get big," and they all have like pop hats on, and these different different heads shaped like different types of things. It's really crazy.
I'm gonna watch
but
this.
It's nightmare fuel, because whose head is shaped like that? It's absolutely terrifying. So there's that one. That's the one that just immediately comes to my head, because I'm like, what the fuck are we doing? Like, what is this? What were the other two? That one just stuck out so much because I was like, this is absolutely... Oh, Seal.
Oh,
so,
yeah, I saw
Seal?
that. Yeah, I saw that. That was disturbing.
That was not even as disturbing as Tubi, but it was disturbing.
I'll watch the Tubi one, yes.
And then there was another one, but I can't think of it off the top of my head. But like, what? Who's that for?
What 2000s commercials?
Left an impression.
Is there anything I'd remember?
There's like... I remember Gushers having really weird commercials.
Yes, where they turned into things. Yes.
Really strange.
Yeah. Do you know what commercial lives rent free in my head to this day? Do you remember this? The Sears air conditioner. It's going to be hotter than yesterday.
Yes.
Yesterday you said
like
you call Sears. I'll call today.
Yes.
You'll call now. I'll call now.
Why does that?
I have no idea.
It so much.
Probably.
They played it so much.
I can quote that commercial word.
You know what commercial I always think of when I think of like Super Bowl commercials is the one with Betty White when she's on the field playing like football and she gets tackled, like full blown tackle.
Yes.
And she's like you when you're hungry, and then they give him a Snickers, and then becomes the actual guy again. So yeah.
Can I say something controversial? Not that bad. I understand why they want to do it because they are paying a lot of money, not just only for the spot, but also for the production. I hate how they release them early. That was part of the fun, is that you made sure to be there to watch them.
Why are they doing that?
Probably because they spend so much money that they want you to see, and they know people aren't as glued as they were in 2007 to their TV screens. People are scrolling on phones, people are whatever, so they want you to see the ad as much as possible. But it's like, okay, later, we can all see them later, but can't the first debut be on TV?
That's how it used to be, and it was good.
Yeah, because I saw a lot of these.
I used to watch the Super Bowl for the commercials and halftime.
And you wouldn't miss it. You'd be there in the thing watching.
What's the point? Now I have to watch football?
Yeah, I know. I feel like I know it hasn't lost its luster, but in some ways it does. Did you go anywhere or do anything?
No, literally nothing.
Yeah, see, we always used to always when I was growing up, there was always a Super Bowl party.
Yeah.
Granted, it was hosted by the 70-year-old figure skaters.
Yeah.
And I was in a basement that was straight out of a 1970s time capsule, but it was still a party that we were attending with more than 10 people and food.
Yeah. Tyler D used to invite us to his party if he threw one in the past, but he hasn't invited us in the last few years, and I think it's just because he knows we're probably not.
Does he still do it?
He hasn't. No, he hasn't invited us in 3 years now. So I think around COVID is when he stopped inviting us.
Yeah, it's kind of sad that we don't. It kind of goes back to that, nobody does anything with people anymore.
Yeah, it's just somebody has to start it. It's almost like it's almost like the same thing with traditions.
Yeah,
somebody has to start it. Or somebody has to take the reins a lot of times, and nobody wants to do it.
Yeah, I think we got to stop being so lazy, because we're going to be 80 and be like, dang, we spend a lot of time just alone in our living rooms.
Oh, for sure.
But I'm at a weird stage with my kid right now, but that won't be for forever. So,
He's 3.
Yeah. Soon he'll be watching. Yeah, I tell myself that. I'm like, in 2 years, whatever.
Yeah, because Alex being 6, Alex is really fun right now. He's so much fun.
So maybe it'll be me to carry on the Super Bowl. But speaking of Super Bowl commercials, I did not see it. It was local. I don't know where local, but Kanye's ad.
Oh, yeah. It was in LA, I think, primarily is what I heard. But it was in the article I read.
Yay. I don't need to call him by his formal name. He ain't showing anybody any respect.
Zero
Kanye.
respect.
Bryce is here. Everyone, it's going to bark.
Oddly.
So I think one of the I'm trying to think about how I want to kick this off about Kanye. Besides that, I can't believe that commercial aired. But in some ways, this doesn't surprise me. But in every way, it does. Kanye's. Well, now we're on Tuesday, February 11th, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he has now tweeted some horrific things. You can Google it yourselves. And he is currently selling one shirt. Well, it got taken down. Was selling one shirt with a very horrific symbol. Again, you can Google it.
Literally so huge on the shirt, too. It wasn't small. It was the entire size of the shirt.
And I've been really struggling with this because obviously his mental health has not been good for decades now. I mean, we can't pretend. He did the whole thing with Taylor Swift in 2009, 2008. So we can't.
What's that long ago?
Yeah, we can't sit here. I mean, 2016 was when he went against Jay-Z and said all this bad stuff.
Oh yeah,
and that's almost a decade ago. So we can't sit here and pretend.
Sucks to say that out loud.
Yeah, we can't pretend this has not been going downhill for decades.
Yeah.
But if you're like us, who grew up, it was he was such a prolific producer and rapper that was on everything we listened to, and it's just very weird because I think it all started with us thinking that he was just drunk.
I don't know if that would. Do you think that was it?
We know he was drunk when he did the Taylor thing. So I think it kind of started with that. He's on drugs. He's drunk. Yeah, I mean he had been drinking out of a flask all night, but I'm sure there was more to it. So that's what it started with. Dude has an alcohol problem. And then I think it escalated to
there's more going on.
There's
he was
more going
self-medicating. It sounds like then.
Yes,
most likely.
And at this point, is this mental illness? Is he so gone? What? This is an extreme. Obviously.
I think it's a break, like a mental break. He's like just gone. He probably needs like committed actually for a period of time so they can figure out what exactly cocktail medications he needs to be
Well, I
on.
think
'Cause
he
maybe
was
not
on
right.
it and his music sucked. That's why he stopped. Because that was when he
Yeah,
was
but selling
stable with like
selling
Kim and
shirts
he had
with
his kids and
Nazi memorabilia.
yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know. I don't know. It's sad.
I don't I don't have a whole lot of opinions on it because I feel like you can being unwell mentally is a terrible excuse for being a bad person.
Yes.
And talking about, did you see the stuff with Kanye, Bryce?
Oh yeah, the shirt.
Yes, that's what we're talking about. Yeah.
At some point, there's just no more caring. So no, Kanye, we give up on you. I'm sorry. I feel bad because he's got 4 kids and one seems to absolutely idolize him in every way,
totally
shape, or
fine
form.
because those kids
But
are set for life with the
hopefully,
Kardashians. So I wouldn't worry about it too much.
I don't care if you have $10 million, man. You still want your daddy. Just saying.
Daddy.
Okay.
Yeah.
The only other thing I had for this week, and then if you have anything else, let me know. What because you're a big movie person. Movie subscriptions. AMC Stubs raised their prices again, but you can go 4 times in a week.
Yeah.
That is crazy.
Oh yeah, their subscription was crazy. If you're a movie buff, it's way cheaper to do that.
I'm surprised. Okay, I feel like they didn't have that when we were younger.
No.
And
I think it's the rise of streaming services kind of pushed them to do that.
I feel like that has to be such a money maker.
It has to be because they're probably hoping that you get it and then
because there's no way you're gonna go get like your actual money's worth.
I actually do think so because
certain people.
Well, no, I think you are because if you are even a semi-frequent moviegoer, it's like what $28 a month.
Yeah,
and it's $14, $15 for one ticket. So you go twice a month and you got your money's worth.
No, that is true. That is
so
true.
I feel like it's actually pretty
easy. For on their side though, like people aren't cashing in that many movies. So
right, yeah. They're not going as often,
them money.
Yeah, I was pretty impressed when I saw that too. I was like, wow, that is a great
like
if
I
was
they didn't do that.
Like, I was like, wow, before. I didn't realize it was actually affordable to go to movies if you just made it like a priority almost,
Yeah, like your workout, but your movie. All right, moving on to the throwback for the week. You wanted to talk about Matchbox 20 last week, I think, didn't you?
No, that was this week.
Oh, okay.
The Fray was last week.
Okay, then we'll do mine then.
What you got?
Oh no, wait, no, do Matchbox 20. Sorry.
Do you remember that song? She's so mean.
No,
I know. I
don't think I do.
It was actually on that lady that we were just talking about.
Yeah,
it was a background song on one of her TikToks, and
talk about it.
And then I clicked on it, and I was like, oh I forgot about the song. It's kind of a banger.
You can talk about it while I look for it.
So I don't know. It was during that period when like Matchbox 20 just seemed like they were always putting something out that was just popular.
I was never like a huge.
I really enjoyed them.
You would. This is your vibe.
Thank you.
I don't remember this, Corey.
You really?
I've never heard this song in my life.
What?
Swear on my life, I've never heard this song.
No way.
Seriously. Never heard this song. Maybe I just like didn't listen to Matchbox 20 enough.
I'm trying to think. Does it say the year on it? Did it say that?
I can look.
Because I am.
Would it have been like a little before, like?
I'm wondering if it was like right before.
When I listened.
I wonder if it was like late high school, early college, before I met you.
Oh, they were earlier than that.
This song specifically, it was later in their career. I don't think it was like a part of that big album.
Oh, maybe that's.
It wasn't a part of like the album where like it just seemed like they had like
2012. Things. Okay, that's probably why I was not listening to Matchbox.
2012 was
yeah, that's right.
When I met you.
Yeah. Huh. No, I've never heard it, but that makes more sense now. I thought it was like part of their like original stuff.
No, it was later. Yeah,
I've never heard that. That's interesting. I feel like that's rare that I come across.
It's actually pretty fun, to be honest.
2000 song. Well, maybe I'll add it to my list and listen to it on the way home.
2012 wasn't exactly a powerhouse year.
You know who is making me feel like it's like 2012 again, a little before? Lady Gaga. Oh my God, yes. I am loving this like return. Let me paint a picture for you all. I am 16 or 17, working at Journey Shoes. and we had like the actual music videos in the show. Like they'd play the music with the music video. And that's back before we had any idea what was playing. We didn't even get a track list. We just got a CD that had the month on it. And you had to make sure you saw the song at the beginning and at the end if you wanted to know what it was.
Oh, nice.
No Shazam, no nothing.
Love that.
The number of times I ignored a customer to be like, what is this? Because it's been bothering me. And we were getting to the end of the month. And Just
That's
Dance.
so
They had
funny.
Lady Gaga Just Dance.
Yeah.
And I was met with, this is catchy. This is awesome. This is weird.
Yeah.
And I think that kind of solidifies that whole era of Lady Gaga, paparazzi.
And that was just the beginning.
Yes, where you were like,
because paparazzi was like her first. No, not paparazzi.
Just Dance.
Just Dance. What was the one? Poker Face.
Poker Face
was like the first like real production value music video that came out, and then after that was paparazzi, and then the actual big one, Bad Romance.
Yes.
Came out, and that was where she kind of made herself into a star. I think was Bad Romance.
Yes.
Along with, I guess,
and all those
performances,
all those performances
she was
of
a
that
fiance,
time too.
so like,
oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And
you know
that's
that fucking music video it ends with a
to
saying,
be continued, and it was never continued.
I'm so mad.
I was so like, I'm sure this wasn't everybody's view, but it was like when I would watch that earlier era, it was like amazing and also unsettling all at the same time. And I'm sure that's kind of what she was going for.
I think so.
And I'm glad she did what she had to do.
Yeah.
I think she proved herself as like a multifaceted star.
Yes.
Didn't she like grow up playing jazz piano?
Yeah, I think so.
So I feel like if you're someone like her, you would want to show your true talent. Like you wouldn't want to just be known as meat dress, egg girl, paparazzi music video. You know,
can
like
you imagine being Gen Z and not knowing what you meant by meat dress?
So I'm a dress actually made of meat,
literally,
like literally
meat. Made of meat.
So you have to understand, we all thought Lady Gaga was absolutely off her rocker in the best way.
I loved it.
Yeah, in the best way.
She's so crazy.
But it was very weird for that time. Like weird.
It's weird for any time.
But yes, that too.
So weird.
But especially, and so I can understand why that wouldn't be just what she wanted to be.
Yeah, for sure.
Known for. Now my mom is like, Lady Gaga rocks.
I know.
And now she's back to doing.
My dad and I have talked about this too, because he and I have talked about how she is like an obvious, like, she's just a different type of star. It's just not the same. Like, she knows what she's doing.
Oh, from the beginning.
She's just like a Taylor. She knows how to market herself. She knows what she wants to do. She, like Bryce and I talked about it. When she goes into like doing a new album, like she's about to release, she does one look and she sticks with that look the entire time that album is out, because she is trying to make sure that that is the identity that she wants to give people for that album.
I learned that my husband cannot stand bleached eyebrows.
Oh, Bryce hated him. He's so mad at him. He hates it.
As my husband is pretty non-judgmental, he kind of doesn't care about anything.
I was gonna say, that's a little surprising.
Normally not one to comment on women's looks, period.
Yeah.
Dude, he multiple times he mentioned the eyebrows.
So
I'm like,
Bryce.
This is really bad.
Bryce hates it. That's all Bryce kept saying too. He's like, I hate those eyebrows. Why would you do that? And that's when he said, she's gonna keep those because that's a part of the look for the album, and I don't want her to keep those. They look terrible. I don't know why she's doing that.
I agree. I don't like bleached eyebrows either. It was just the hyperfixation was funny. But no, I remember telling my mom one time, I'm like, I think the real Lady Gaga is probably kind of the Lady Gaga you see with Tony Bennett, just like a true.
Probably.
I think she's pretty normal.
Yeah.
And everything was just pure performance art.
Yes.
Here's a question for you: do you think Chappell Roan will ever go the Lady Gaga route where she gets rid of the outfits, gets rid of everything, and just showcases her talent? Or do you think she's pretty stuck in... That was a good question, wasn't it?
It was a good question.
Hire me, Today Show or 60 Minutes.
Today Show. 60 Minutes? Such a nerd.
Ask the hard questions.
I don't think it's a terribly hard question. I think she...
Okay, fine. It's not a hard question.
I don't think it's a hard question. I think it's a good question, though.
Okay.
I think it depends on longevity.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think Gaga would have done it if she didn't have longevity to do it. Mm-hmm. She had to have the longevity. She had to make sure her name was a household name first before she starts actually playing with her identity. So I think that's part of it. I think Chappell will definitely, Gaga did Joanne, that country album. I think Chappell will do that much sooner, because that, I think, is actually, you can kind of hear it in her roots. And when she put out that song, that teaser on SNL, when she did a new song, and it was really pop country almost, you could tell that she kind of is leaning towards wanting to do something like that anyways. So I could see her dipping her toes into that, but I feel like the country industry is not going to want her. So it's kind of like Beyonce. They didn't want her, even though it's a solid album,
Here's the thing, and I think it was the time period as well. We were talking about time periods in music. My parents knew who Lady Gaga was in the midst of like everything
Yeah.
because everybody watched TV. So they saw the award shows. They saw all
Yes.
this. My parents have no idea who Chapel Roan is, which is, and
I
I'm telling
know.
you, I think more
It's
people
so social
don't
media driven. It's
than
so
you
crazy.
do. Because
Yeah.
I mentioned Chapel Roan at like mom's group.
Yeah.
And a lot of these moms I wouldn't say are like not up on things. And
Yeah.
a chunk of them were like, who? And I was like, they got it, you know, babe, you're trying to sing it. Like, oh yeah. But not
Right.
it's not like a, and I think that's part of this weird, you're either very on social media or you're very not.
Yes, I agree.
And it doesn't transcend like it used to.
I agree.
And that's hard.
The thing is, the incentive to do it the older way, to get more your name out there conventionally, is not as the way to be successful any longer.
No, it's
you
not.
have to be TikTok famous first.
Yeah.
To get your name.
My mom is just now kind of knowing who Sabrina Carpenter is and think about how big she's
huge
been. But again, she's not on traditional media outlets like we all used to watch.
Right.
So
I know. And
it's very weird.
You're not going to see them if you're not, like, you don't have anything to watch. Like, even back in the day, you could have turned on MTV or VH1 in the morning just to see if you can catch something.
Even like pop rundowns, things like that. My mom used to watch like the
pop-up video.
Yeah.
Things like that.
And my mom actually asked that the other day. She's like, how do I know who's like popular? I felt like I used to know who was like popular in music. And I don't think it was just because you were in high school. Like I knew Justin Bieber and stuff.
Right.
I said, I think it's because you need to go like search for it on social media if you're not already part of that community.
You can find on certain streaming platforms like Spotify or Apple Music, you can find lists that like people pre-make for like artists that are up and coming and maybe getting big and like they're making a name for themselves. And that's the way I try to do that because I would like to not fall behind.
I think Anne's getting tired.
Oh, poor Anne.
Not like that, but just like it's too much to keep up with. I do think you hit, and she tried for a long time.
Yeah, she did great.
Yeah. So
I kind of get it, you know. It's you can always fall back onto your favorites. Like it's not gonna hurt.
Well, the 2005ish era is one of hers because I was old enough to listen to older music, but she still had to drive me everywhere.
Oh yeah.
So she's like a master of 2005, 2006,
so
2007. Oh, Panic at the Disco, I Write Sins Not Tragedies.
Yes.
She didn't know they said GD. When she found out they did, she was upset. But other than that, she loved that song. She loved Moneymaker by Pharrell. Ludacris has no idea what they said, thank God. Yeah. Big Girls Don't Cry. Man. She was a big Fergie person for a while there. I love Big Girls
I loved
Don't Cry.
Fergie also. It was very sad that direction Fergie went.
My mom was really into that. But yeah. So let's talk about workplace sitcoms. Speaking about what my mom was into. Yes. The Office. My mom was obsessed with The Office, which is how I kind of got into The Office. So you want to talk about workplace sitcoms?
Yeah, because I feel like there's a complete lack of them right now.
Oh, isn't there like your school ones that you guys watch?
The school ones, yes. There's a couple school ones that are big right now, but there's not like Office sitcoms like there used to be. You know what I mean? Like the Parks and Recs, the Offices, the things like that are just like not really existent. I give bar setting even, like Cheers and Friends and How I Met Your Mother. Those kind of bar settings type of things.
Yeah.
Are none of those are really a thing? Like the school ones are really all
traditional TV is just. Do people sit down and watch sitcoms?
Which is really strange to me because
sad.
It's strange because like the like Abbott Elementary is really good. So it's really sad that people are like there's not more. It makes me wonder why more isn't coming out.
My hairdresser, she's 22, 23. She watches Abbott Elementary like religiously.
It's so fun.
So I mean, younger generations they're just watching it on their computer in their bedroom, and
the writing is so good.
Yeah,
it's so impressive.
Well, and that's the thing. I think we talked about this before, like The Office and all that stuff. Would it survive today's cancel culture? I think we decided yes.
Yeah, I think it would
because of it was not saying it from a place of this is what it is. It was saying it like making fun of people for being that way.
And they dialed Michael Scott back.
They did.
When they first started, he was so
pilot,
annoying.
That whole first like 4 episodes of that first season is like
I was like, oh, I can't handle this. I can't. He's too much.
Yeah.
And they dialed him back.
Season 2, they had it like dialed in.
Yes. Do you know what Bryce and I think is the reason that we that Abbott is kind of so successful and why we like it so much is I think it's the first show that genuinely is tailored to like millennials and Gen Z instead of being tailored to older audiences that we're used to.
Well, we're getting to that point where we're the parents.
Yeah.
I have that trippy moment a lot, like in the summer at the lake, because I'll go to the store and there will be a lot of like on a Friday, people, getting groceries or whatever. And you see the SUVs and the minivans. And that used to be like your parents. And then you get out and they're our age. Right. And that's really trippy. It's like, oh, we're the parents with the young kids getting groceries for the weekend at the lake.
Yes.
Oh, fudge. That's supposed to be like people in their it's not though, but it's supposed to be people that are like 10, 15 years older than me. And now it's my age.
I always think of like my sister who is 40 and has a 23-year-old. And I'm like, oof. How does that feel, Leanne? Because I just can't imagine. Like I can young. I mean, so I'm 34. My mom and my dad became grandparents at 35.
That is crazy. So that is trippy. I mean, so did my mother-in-law. Close to it, not maybe quite that young, but it was close, like 37.
My mom was 36. My dad was 35.
What's 19 plus 19? 38?
Yeah.
Yeah, 38 then.
My dad had 2 young kids when my sister had her kids. So my nephew is 23 funny. And my brothers are 26 and 27.
So we're in for like a real interesting time period because we're going to find a lot of stuff that used to be catered towards our parents is now catered towards us. But then we're going to find that a lot of stuff that used to be catered towards us is now young for us. Because
Abbott does that.
2 demographics. People want to appeal to Gen Z because they have the like kid. I know they're not kids, but like that young adult power that's like trendy and cool. And then us because we have the spending power.
Yeah. Abbott does that pretty masterfully. And it's kind of nice. It makes you feel old because of course, but like it also kind of keeps you up to date with while making you feel cringy because it's obvious that you're not the demographic. You know what I mean?
Ready to feel really old?
No.
The Sims turned 25. Did you see that? Mm-hmm. It feels like yesterday. Were you into The Sims?
Oh, for sure.
I was upset. I would play The Sims.
I still have it on my computer.
I kind of want to get it. They were doing an edition. Fun. I had every single Sims 2 pack. Everything.
Sims 2 was the best one.
Everything. I can still remember the house. Rosebud. You say Rosebud. That's all I can think of. I loved it.
Oh yeah. I have I have the Sims 3 on there, and I have like 15 packs attached to it and everything. I have like all of them.
Stinks. Roller Coaster Tycoon is like not available anymore. Like the OG Roller Coaster Tycoon.
Do you know where it is?
Where is it?
It's an app on your phone now. You can buy.
But it's not the original, right?
Oh,
Does it play?
Is.
It is. Can I do it on my iPad?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
And it plays exactly the same.
I was obsessed with Roller Coaster Tycoon. And when I went to look for it, it's all like this new weird stuff. All those Tycoon games. Do you know how much I played all those Tycoon games?
I did too.
I was obsessed. Zoo Tycoon, Airport Tycoon.
I didn't do Airport Tycoon, but that'd be fun.
Oh, I had every Tycoon. See, my dad and I had this tradition. I
had every Tycoon.
This is what's weird about being an only child with like, I guess I'll say upper middle class parents. It's kind of weird. My mom didn't work, so like, but that was back in the day where you kind of could. I think we probably had less money than I thought we did, but I was the only child. So
yeah.
And so every Wednesday, my mom had choir practice. My dad would take me to Chuck E. Cheese and we'd play games for like 45 minutes. And then we would go pick out a book at Borders.
Oh, nice.
A book or 2.
This sounds very much like Bryce's.
Yes, I love to read. Love to read. And I was the most grateful mother beeper you've ever seen in my life. I'd be like, thank you, thank you, thank you. And then I'd feel really guilty, which I took into my adulthood. But every now and then, maybe once a month, we'd get to go next door to now this is going to sound really only child bratish. My family's a big Mac family. We always had Macs, but a lot of these early games you couldn't play on a Mac.
Oh, yeah.
So my dad bought
The Sims wasn't available on Mac for a long time.
My dad bought me a PC so I could play my games.
My mom feels like something she would do that too.
And I was so happy.
And we weren't even wealthy. My mom would have gone out of her way.
It was the best Christmas present I ever got.
Nice.
But then we would go and get a game, like a Tycoon game or something. Nice. And then when that place closed, we had to go to Best Buy. But yeah.
That's so
True
funny.
life.
Yeah, that's pretty. I didn't really have that. I didn't get that much stuff, but I got the things that I wanted just on very specific occasions.
Yeah.
If I like worked really hard for them because we didn't have a ton of money, but like there are certain things that like was overlapping, so my brother and I would play a lot of things together
That's
anyway.
nice when you have siblings that you can just buy for one.
Right.
Eric and I can buy expensive shoes for one because we wear the same size shoe. I love it. I'm not embarrassed. I don't need
Are you
to,
serious?
Yeah, I'm dead serious. I don't need to spend $300 on shoes if I want like
So
really
funny.
cool. Like I'm not a big name brand person anyway.
Yeah, same.
But like if we want cool Nikes or cool whatever.
Yeah.
Even Birks, even Vans.
Yeah.
Share.
It's kind of ironic. It's kind of like Bryce and I. We have the same inseam, so we have the same leg length. He is 5 inches taller than me, and it's all torso.
Oh.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah, I'm having a big torso. Well, but at least Corey and Bryce are both
men.
I am straight, everyone. I'm married to a man.
Poor Eric.
So I don't know if this quite hits the same.
Poor Eric.
I don't know if this quite hits the same. But I'm not ashamed. I'm happy. Okay, so what else you got? We got about 10 minutes left on our journey. There's all sorts of stuff. You want to talk about the wild thornberries, the Mist, Event Horizon?
Ooh, let's talk about movies.
Okay. Tell me about these movies.
Okay, so both of them are horrors, so that's not really great for what you enjoy anyways.
Cool. We are off to a great start.
The Mist has the most depressing ending of any movie I have ever seen.
When did this come out?
2008, probably.
Okay.
7.
I'm surprised I didn't see it because that was my era of movie going.
I think
probably too scary for me.
Probably too scary.
Yeah.
So I can give a quick premise. It's so old. If you haven't seen it, you can just stop watching for here because I feel like it's not my duty to give you spoiler alerts for a 2008 movie.
No, it's not.
So
I stand by that.
This movie, is set in Maine. Seattle. I think it's opposite side of the. Anyways, so
two very different places.
They have a very big storm one night, and it like takes trees down.
Oh yeah.
And it like breaks windows and doors and stuff, and so they're like the whole town's like trying to like just kind of get itself together and like they're like, we didn't know that storm was going to be that bad. We have to kind of get some stuff together. So this guy takes him and his son into town to buy supplies to fix a window that broke during the night, and the place is really busy because everybody's in there trying to get stuff, and slowly but surely you start seeing some mist roll in, and this mist is so thick you can't see past it anymore. So it rolls in, and out of nowhere some guy runs in and he's like, something in the mist is taking people, like they're like literally disappearing. And long story short, there's a military base that's not far that has been experimenting with multidimensional like travel, and they accidentally ripped open the dimension, which is what the storm was, and there's like multidimensional creatures that are killing people. So they don't know when it's going to go away. They don't know what's going to happen. So this religious lady's trying to convince everybody that it's the end of times. You know how people are. And so the main guy and his kid, who's like 8, and like these 2 or 3 other people who actually all agree, they all make a dart for the car, and they get in the car and they decide they're just going to drive until they can hopefully either run out of gas or they try to get out of the mist and see where they can get away from it. So they get to a point where they run out of gas, and these creatures are doing crazy things with the people, like laying eggs inside of them, and spiders are bursting out of them. It's crazy stuff, and so they don't really want any of that. And so
I can assume that they would not.
So he has 4 bullets in a gun, and there's 5 of them. So they decide that he's going to kill all of them, and he's going to then just sacrifice himself. So he kills all of them, gets out of the car, gets ready for them to attack him, and up rolls a military tank, and they're just basically flamethrowing everything and killing everything because they are taking care of it. So he killed his kid and those 4 survivors, and now he gets to live.
That's the worst ending ever.
That's what I'm saying. It was the most depressing thing I've ever seen.